All right. Next topic, Star Citizen. Saksham, can you tell us
Star
what Star Citizen
Citizen.
is?
Oh God, where do I even begin? Star Citizen. Okay, Star Citizen is
Wow.
a myth. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's just not real. We don't know what Star Citizen really is. Like
It's a
nobody knows what
concept.
Star Citizen
It's
is.
a futuristic concept at this point.
It's a theoretical concept. It's Fugazi Fugazi. It doesn't exist. But no, for real though,
Will it ever
Star
exist?
Citizen
Will it ever exist?
will
We
never
don't know.
exist.
We don't know.
We never know.
We don't
It's
know.
Schrodinger's cat. It's both dead and alive at the same time. We don't know what's happening with Star Citizen.
Ah,
Arguably one of the biggest memes in the gaming world. Uh, yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Okay,
that's a pretty good way to
basically, Star
describe it.
Citizen. We have given the most apt description of Star Citizen ever. You're not gonna find a better one. The fried circus got you covered. All right, Star Citizen, right? It's a game, but not really, right? It's an announced game. It's an announced game that was announced in 2012 by a studio run by Chris Roberts, who is
Yeah.
a considered titan among game developers. He's made some really iconic games over time, and this is where goodwill comes in again, right? People really like his Chris Roberts. Oh wait, people really liked Chris Roberts
Chris Rob.
and his studio. uh, so because of that, he started a studio and he announced a game called Star Citizen, which was originally due to come out, I think 2014, 14,
Yeah,
15.
2 years after
Uh,
they started their crowdfunding campaign.
yeah, exactly. It was supposed to come out 2014, 15, sometime around then. Announced in 2012, backed by, a credible guy who's made plenty of games before. What could possibly go wrong? Uh, Basically, Star Citizen started off with crowdfunding, and
Yeah.
they crowdfunded their campaign through Kickstarter, I think, and they raised a lot of money, a lot of money. A lot of fanatic gaming fans put money into Chris Roberts' vision, and he promised them the most epic game of their lives. Alright, like
Yeah.
a game that's unparalleled to any other game, and that's gonna be like truly like a simulation. Like at that point, it's pretty much a real world, but inside another world. Right?
Yeah.
At least that's the impression that I got from what uh, I read from the previous announcements back in the day. Uh, but yeah, the game still hasn't come out.
It's been
We
nine
are sitting
years.
9 years in the future, and the game hasn't come out. What's even more concerning is the
375
fact,
million.
yeah, that's how much money they've raised in the 9 years since the game's
It's
announcement.
been nine
And
years and $375 million, and they still don't have a game to show for it. And we still don't know when it might come out. Like they're saying, what, 2022? That's the
I
latest
mean,
deadline that they come out with.
at this point, any date they give is just like it's
It's fine.
even less credible. Like gaming dates are already
Yeah.
uncredible. This is even worse. This is like you can't even take it as a date anymore. Like it
Like at
makes
this
no
point, we
difference.
just like it's so late. Just like give
We
us a
just
game
ignore
whenever.
the date. Like we
Just,
know
just
if they
we just,
announce 2022, it's not coming out on that date. Like we can almost certainly say that. In fact, you know
just
what?
like
Fried Circuit, bold prediction. Whatever the current release date for Star Citizen is, it's probably not gonna come out on that date. We can almost
no, it's not.
guarantee it. Yeah, but essentially, what makes this game so crazy is that the money for the first part, right? It's funded entirely, not entirely, but for the most part by the gaming community, who believed in a game's vision as they were told, and put money towards it. But they put money where their mouth is, and it's raised the highest amount of money that any game has ever had as a budget,
Right.
and it's been delayed for the past 9 years, and we still don't have a game.
Yeah.
And it's had a really troubled development. There have been people who've come, people who've left, heads who've come, heads who've left. There are 100 developers they hire one day, the next day 200 leave the company. It's really random, and it seems like there's a bunch of factors that contribute to the to this uncertainty around the game. The first being the vision, Chris Roberts' creative vision. It's said that a lot of times they came close to completing the game, the vision that he had further expanded. Like he kept moving the benchmark or the goalpost further on, and so every time
Hmm.
the developers reached a point, he would say, "No, it's not enough. We gotta go bigger than that." Right? And
Yeah,
because
like
of
you've
that, they
come out
had
with a
to
new like spaceship. It's not good enough. Make 50 more. Go for a new planet.
make
Go for
50
a new
more. Yeah,
solar
yeah, yeah.
system.
Go for a new
Your,
planet, new solar system.
no
Yeah,
goal like was good enough. And
was good enough for
what
the
I thought,
game's
like, this is
ambition.
my personal like, this is just my opinion.
Yeah,
I thought like a smarter strategy would be to kind of stick to the deadline by releasing whatever the original vision for the game was, and then all these
Yeah.
extra things, the new benchmarks you're adding, release them as updates, right?
Those
You
could be
want,
updates. Those could be
yeah,
updates. There
you
could
want
be
more
next versions
spaceships, you want
also.
more like solar systems, just more space to explore. Release them as updates, but just release the original game within the
Yeah.
original time frame so people can start enjoying that. This is my opinion. That's what I thought would have been a more logical decision. But Chris
Yeah. Make a
Roberts
Star
opted for this
Citizen 2.
instead.
Make a third one. Make
Yeah,
a fourth one. Like, expand on the franchise. Make it a big deal.
if
But
it's as big
obviously
as he
didn't want to do
claims
that.
it will be, then people will eat it up. People will buy
Yeah.
like three, four, five
From
games in
from
the franchise.
yeah, from what they say, this, like, I'm hyped for it. Like, just by, even though I know that it's probably empty promises, just by
Yeah,
reading what they're talking about, it's unreal. Like, it's something we've never seen before. It's truly different level of game that we've, it's unheard of. And I think so. Firstly, the vision, right, and the ambition of the game, or over ambition as you could call it, right. The game just went constantly, just kept being developed and developed and developed and developed, and eventually reached the point where they actually had somewhat of a game, like a pretty good, almost reusable version of the game. But by that point, it was so late, the graphics were outdated. Like, they came to 2016-17 and the game looked like something from 5 years ago, and there was no way they could release that and actually made a profit. So they actually had to scrap the entire game. Like, they've had to actually
the
delete
development.
years of development work and
Yeah.
restart all over again
The
because of just how
development
long development
process
was
has been
taking.
so long that newer technology has come out that's made previous
Yeah,
development obsolete. That's how long this game has taken. The development.
that's a record.
Yeah.
That's a record low for any
Like just to
developer.
make it clear, like 375 million, like GTA 5, right? One of the biggest games of all time. The budget
The
for
biggest
that
game of all
was,
time. Yeah.
yeah, the budget for that was $265 million, and it did
Which
like,
at the time was considered insane. Yeah.
yeah, it was considered insane. And they took like, sure, they took five. They released GTA 4 in 2008, took 5 years, and then released GTA 5. But they did release it, and when it came out, the game really
It
delivered.
was a very polished game.
That's
Yeah.
why it made over $1 billion in the opening weekend. That's why people still play it to this day. Right? It's a great game.
Yeah.
So sure, the budget was, they took 5 years to make it. The budget was massive, but it ended up being worth it.
There
Here
was
it's
something to show for it. Yeah.
$375 million, 9 years of work, and no one has a game. Like there isn't
Yeah.
a game yet in
I
existence.
mean, that's not entirely true. There is a beta, but it's nowhere near what the game is meant to be.
Yeah.
So yes, the game is not out. It's not going to be out for a while, for that matter. And yeah, so coming to the second thing, and again, this is basically speculation at this point. I've never worked for Star Citizen. I don't know what's going on. I've never met anyone who's worked for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
But people have also said there was a big Ponzi scheme, and essentially Chris Roberts just used his goodwill to
Yeah.
swindle people for money,
And
and
just
all the
raise
money was
funds
just,
for himself.
yeah, just kept raising
Yeah.
more and more and more money for the game, which just went into the pockets of the higher ups in the company. And there isn't actually a game. People say Star Citizen doesn't exist. It's not a real thing, and it's just a money making scheme for Chris Roberts and people. Who knows? Who knows? I have no clue.
Imagine just
But
going
yeah,
to like a Star Citizen office or like his game development, like
it's just empty.
the team. You go to the office and there's like 5 desks there, and you open like there's like
Yeah,
no files. There's like
it's an
one.
old dot matrix printer, just dusty sitting in the corner, doing
There's like
absolutely
the
nothing.
there's like this
Fax
one
machine.
folder. There's one folder that contains this one Unreal Engine file, and it's called Star Citizen. And you open it up, and there's just like that default like cube that you get when you
Yeah.
create like a new project in Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
You just have that default cube sitting
Yeah.
there. That'd be
Yeah.
funny.
I think what makes Star Citizen incredibly sad is that it wasn't like a bank, or it wasn't a company that put money into the game. It was actual gamers
Yeah.
who themselves put their money because they wanted to see a new game and they wanted to see a revolutionary
Again,
game.
it's people who like are passionate about the game or video game industry that
Who
are
are
suffering in
again,
this situation.
again,
Yeah.
games. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just how the gaming industry works. If you're passionate about games, it's not gonna end well for you. We're in the
Shouldn't be like
we're in
that.
the wrong lane over here. Yeah, we're seeing a recurring theme over here.
Yeah.
But
But
also, because of how divisive Star Citizen is, there's primarily two camps at this point. Like 9 years on, there's two camps. There's people who still believe something's gonna come, it's gonna be revolutionary, it's gonna be great, and there's skeptics again who don't think it's ever gonna be a game that's ever gonna come out. However, big update recently. I think 2020 only, or like sometime before, they released an open beta, which you can actually play if you spend more money for the game.
Oh, it's like what is it?
But
$1,000?
yeah, it's something like that. It's some crazy amount of money that you gotta spend
So just
to be able
further
to play the
funding,
game.
further
It's further
funding.
fun the game, yeah. Essentially, if you put more money in the game, you can get a taste of a beta that has like I don't know 1/100th of the game's scale or the game like what was supposed to be. You know, it's very buggy.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It doesn't work most of the time. If you do get it to work, you'll have like a half decent experience playing the game. Uh, but yeah, so like there is technically like a beta out now, so this you can experience a part of Star Citizen, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not rushing to play the beta anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Star Citizen? Which camp would you go in?
I don't
I
think
mean,
it's
obviously,
coming
none
out.
of us have put money into it. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
no
we don't
money,
have
so
any
we
money. But also, like, I
actually
don't
invested
think
in the
it's.
game.
I don't think it's coming out anytime soon. Like in the 2022 thing, I don't think
Yeah,
it's happening.
same. I don't think it's
And
coming out anytime soon as
also,
well.
now that we're
But he's got me
now that we're
excited.
yeah,
Like listening to like the
in terms of how they've
announcements.
described it, in terms of like what they've said about the game, it has the potential to be like just the best game ever, right? The most like immersive
It has
experience
the
there
potential
is.
to not be a game anymore. It has the potential to be a mini world, like inside a world.
Yeah, it's literally just like you start playing and it's just
It's the
something else
Matrix.
altogether.
It has
Yeah,
the potential of becoming the Matrix.
but
Yeah.
I mean we don't have anything to show for it so far, so I'm just not keeping my hopes up high.